Hey, what's up, you guys? Check the names, check the pronouns, and let's go to a museum. Yes, it is the Museum of San Diego Natural History. And you know who's with me? It's my service dog. But that's it. It's just us today. Jasmine is busy, so I'm going to the museum all by myself. Let's bring you with me. They have an accessible entrance because the Nat, which is what they're calling themselves now, very cool, very chic, did a bunch of renovations, and I haven't been in like literally years. A dinosaur. So let's go exploring. Bringing my service dog to the Nat. This is our first time together, as again I mentioned I haven't been in years, and she's unfazed. That dinosaur means nothing to her. That's Al, a replica. Let's also go see some other stuff like the living lab. Wait a second, I have my own living lab. The living lab is, well, kind of what it sounds like. It is a lab of living creatures, which include a lot of snakes and bugs and amphibians. This was cool. They showed us how the jaw of a rattlesnake, which are all over San Diego County, functions. And I thought that was really cool and also kind of terrifying to see how big they made the rattlesnake's mouth and how um, scary there. But then, there he is. He's hiding. You can't even see him. I have to point him out in a second. Give me a second. There he is, but he does not want to talk to us. Let's move on to some other things like a centipede or, you know, maybe not something with so many legs. Okay, ants do have fewer legs than a centipede, I guess. This living lab is really cool because it's focused so much on San Diego County and people are able to learn about, what's dangerous and what's not. And actually, we have quite a few snakes, like the gopher snake, that is not poisonous to people and really helps our environment. Also, frogs. Pretty cool. Did you also know that there's over like 60 different types of bees? Let's talk about it. Here we'll see less than 10% of the bees represented. And they have this whole case that shows you all the different kinds. And they vary in size. If you've seen a carpenter bee, they're quite big. But they can also be as small as like an ant. Look at the size differences. They all do different stuff. Bees are really cool. And although I'm allergic, I think it's important to remember that bees and pollinators are really important. Oh, here's me. They have a little cubby thing. We're saying hi. This is just on the first floor, and we've already seen so much. It's very exciting. Doing things alone is hard. Let's move on to gems, which is my personal special interest outside of dinosaurs, which I didn't get to spend a lot of time with because I was doing this alone. It was a good practice to remember that I can do things alone, including staring at beautiful, gorgeous rocks, which I love so much. I think the earth is amazing. Manatee. But on the second floor, they have some more historical stuff and a lot of taxidermy. And it's hot. But it was kind of cold outside and I wasn't. Anyway, whatever. I brought my own fan. I'm resourceful. My service dog was not phased at all by the series of dead birds staring at her, so that was good to know. And she wasn't frightened by the dinosaurs either. Look at all these butterflies. Pretty cool. Whale, whale, whale. What have we here? Just a jaw of a sperm whale. It's huge. You thought I was kidding. Back to me doing things alone. I'm autistic, which you should know. The thing's called Autistic Adventures. But doing things alone was really hard for me because I get really overwhelmed and really scared. Wait, poop? What the heck? Anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only person who struggles to do things alone. For a matter of fact, I know I'm not. But a lot of people struggle to do things with other people. Unfortunately, other people that are my safe people make things possible for me. So we're practicing at the last hour of the History Museum to, you know, try and do things alone. It goes okay. Here is another part of the second floor where they talk about the topography of California, but most importantly, the best city in the world, San Diego. This pendulum freaked my service dog out a lot. sometimes you have a service dog and you have to adjust. It freaked her out because it had no smell and no noise and was just like floating. And you have to remember, she's just a dog. And although she is my most perfect special girl who did have to task on me, yeah, I can't expect her to know everything. And she wasn't even afraid of the dinosaurs. So I think a pendulum can give her a free pass. We did end up recovering and being able to enjoy the rest of the museum. But I sort of expected barriers today, and I'm really proud that we continued even after I had, a pretty introspective meltdown, and we were able to work through it so that I could then go look at these cool bones and skeletons and replicas and real ones. And just for reference, look, she's totally next to this guy, unfazed, not a problem. Doesn't matter. We went through this ancient San Diego forest, unfazed. She doesn't care. But the pendulum, the counting of time, and the movement of the earth, it doesn't make sense to either of us, so of course we're afraid. We're terrified. We don't understand it. Now, I can't tell you what all of this stuff means, but Leia has big eyes and big ears, so, maybe she knows that guy. This is another whale. And these are like ancient whales. And I'm pretty sure that means, 3.5 million years old. That's nuts.
You're telling me, Alyssa?
Fossils have always been really cool to me. And so being able to see all of these different extinct animals and see where our history came from in San Diego is really cool. Here is a shot of the Prado Balboa. It's a theater in Balboa Park. And here's a shot of the gorgeous, gorgeous sky and that really old tree. And to talk about how I feel kind of directly after um, doing the museum alone. Okay, now that I have that settled. So I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed, but I really enjoyed how easy it was to be a service dog team. She's sniffing in the back for her treats. I walked in. They didn't ask me any questions. I mean, Leia's in a bright pink, service dog harness, so that helps because she's black, so it's high contrast, which was the point. And I showed them my ID because it was free resident day. So if you're a resident of San Diego, you can get in to certain museums and experiences in the city, I think county, for free. And they rotate what is free on different Tuesdays. So I decided to go to the Natural History Museum, which is rebranded to the Nat, and it closed at 5, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. I wanted to go there and to the Reuben H. Fleet Science Center, which is like an interactive sciencey museum. I haven't been to it since I was like 10. But there wasn't enough time, which is okay, because I can just go out and do something alone again. That's growth. But yeah, so I feel pretty overwhelmed. Everyone was really respectful. The kids were really good. Everyone was really well behaved, which I really appreciate. Old people are generally the worst, and I mean people like 50 plus, especially if they've had a dog, but only one guy made a big guffaw, and then his wife was like, "You can't touch it. It's a working dog." So he just complimented her later when we were in passing. It was very kind. So yeah, when I walked in, they alerted security. I went to the front desk just to make sure that they knew, and then as you saw in the video, we did have a moment where the pendulum really freaked my service dog out, which is fair. It's something that doesn't have a smell in a place with a lot of smells. I don't know. And it moves, and she just got spooked. We tried to work through it, She shook it off right after, but she did let out one bark, which is, gosh, if that had happened even a year ago, it would have had a meltdown. But I used my mantra, which is I can do hard things, to work through those, and I'll probably cry later, but that's okay because I was able to like take a breath, which is like, I think the difference between social anxiety and being overwhelmed and like part of being autistic. So I'm really grateful that I didn't have a panic attack, which I think is a big win, because service animals are still living, breathing animals. Overall, they only had one working elevator, which is not great because there's a lot of strollers. And so it was highly occupied. Um, but you just had to be really patient, and then hopefully people would be really patient. That was tough. And then, other than the one working elevator, it's all very flat and has wide aisles, which is good because I am not a wheelchair user at this point in my life, but I do have a service dog, so we do take up a lot of space. And so it's nice to know that like it's a bare minimum, like the width that it should be per the ADA. And I know that the Nat remodeled and updated stuff, so it looks really cool. They currently only have one working exit, which is like my personal nightmare. But so exiting was pretty crowded, but again, people were really polite, so I think I got the best of everyone, um, which is great. It doesn't happen a lot. But my wife did tell me to get a snack, and I didn't. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you have hard times doing things alone. And let me know if you have a hard time doing things alone. Anyway, bye. I'm burnt out. I'm gonna go not speak for a long time and be alone and quiet. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, and let me know if you've ever been to Balboa Park. Bye!